Hello everyone, this is a bike cleanup. This bike is a customer's bike I'm going to sell on consignment. My consignment fee is 15%. So I'll clean up this bike. Now I just cleaned up my own bike, so I wanted to do a customer's bike so I wouldn't be partial when you saw this video, if you saw this video. I love this park stand. This is the Pro stand or whatever it's called because it disassembles the wheels. And my favorite accessory is this accessory that allows me to move the chain out of the way when the rear wheel is off and keep moving the chain. You'll see in just a minute. It's excellent. This is something like a Pedro's chain guide washer thing. It's great. I use Dawn super greasy cleanup, and inside of this super bottle is Simple Green, my favorite degreaser. So we go first, take off the front wheel, lay it right there. This stand is perfect. Set this up here, the bottom bracket here. I'm gonna have to adjust this a little bit. This is set from my personal bike, so move it up a little bit. Look at that, adjustable for different wheelbases. So awesome. I'm gonna move this screw out just a little bit for the front so I can get into there. And then this super cam here has a super long throw on the fork clamp, so you can almost throw. This has enough throw to get around these little lawyer tabs, these little front wheel tabs, which is excellent. Saves you time to get the wheel in and out. If you don't do this on your bike, shift that bike to the most outside gear, release the wheel, give it a good knock, set it to the side. See how the camera looks there. That's pretty good. I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit, like that. So first thing I do, wet everything down. Now this bike is going to have new bar tape on it for the tune-up because I want to have this sold quickly. I want it to be clean, and I'd like to sell this thing very quickly and have it look great. I'm going to tune it up after this, give it a full tune-up. I like to take the Simple Green and go ahead and let it do its action. I put it in all the parts where there is grit and gunk that's going to be accumulated. All these places I'm trying to get where every little bolt comes in and out, all the parts of the chain and things like that. Oh, and I like to go ahead and do the wheels and just let them soak. So I'll get to those in just a minute. Really douse the cassette to make sure it's going to get a good cleaning. So I have a somewhat dirty rag, a somewhat clean rag, and a somewhat dry t-shirt that are my favorite to clean with on the handlebars. And since I'm putting new bar tape on this, I'm not worried about this tape, but I always start at the top and get all of the parts on the top, especially the bar tape, because it'll have your old sweat and your handprints and your dirt. Open up that caliper to get inside. Open up that brake lever to get inside that brake lever. Get inside your mechanisms. This is soapy, a bucket of soapy water on top of the headset. Over here, top tube, seat. I get up in between the seat clamp, like that, around the clamp, seat clamp, top tube, headset, back to the other side. I'm washing this bar tape just to show you that I do it, but this bar tape is coming off. We're putting some new bar tape on there. But this brake lever needs to be cleaned also. After every section, rinse it off. Don't just let your stuff sit there and dry with the soapy soap on there. It's not going to do it any good, right? And I'll go ahead and freshen up the simple green. All right, now I go for my dirty rag. Really getting into the parts that need some good attention. All this part in the front end of the bicycle, the head tube here, really gets a lot of brake dust and debris from the wheels and the brake. You want to really get all this cleaned up nice. Always check that down tube. It always gets the worms and the dirt and the bugs from the road slopped up on it. Refresh your soap often. Get you good. Get behind here, behind the head tube spaces into there. I like to really give all this a break. A good cleaning. Everywhere you think there could be some dirt, it's there, trust me. In there. Put your rag through the cable. Get it in there. Get the whole outside. I bring the caliper together with my hand because inside the caliper there's a bunch of dirt. And then I do this to wiggle the housing into the stop to make sure that that is clear. Then let's rinse. Start from the top, rinse it down. I like to inspect the brakes at this time. Really make sure that the brake pads are in good shape. These are in great shape. The cable is in good shape, no corrosion, good snappy feel. Come down, that's fresh. Start from the seat tube. Get behind this brake cable noodle back here because there's all kind of dirt that gets caught behind these little brake noodle guides. A lot of corrosion, a lot of dirt back there. Behind the seat tube is a big area for dirt, junk, nasty. Get down in here. I like you get in here, give it the flossing effect, right? All right, let gravity do your work for you. Let your rag and put your rag down, and look how easy that is. I have caught myself trying to feed that thing upwards, and it doesn't work. Oh, I forgot my favorite piece. This goes here. Brings your chain up and out of the way, where you can have it out of the way of the chain stays. Clamp this down just like your rear quick release, and get that out a little bit. And then, look at that. You can pedal that without messing up the chain stay and getting all that chain gook all over the place. Freshen up with some simple green. When you get the super deluxe tune-up or overhaul, this is what your bike mechanic is doing. They are going through every bit of this, checking and maintaining it, cleaning it. Get the inside of the cage here, all right, inside here. Shift this up to the big ring. So on the outside, get the outside of the crank for right now. Outside, anywhere and everywhere. This has been a long overdue for a rinse. So let me give you a rinse. And that lets you know where you still have dirt. Still with my dirty rag. I'm gonna come over here onto the left side. Clean the contact area of the pedal. That's really important. And the cleat contact on the tension clip back here. Because when that's really dirty, it really gives you sometimes a squeaky pedal engagement, sometimes a sticky pedal movement in the float of the pedal. And if you keep that area clean, and that's like a once every few rides kind of thing, just wipe it down with a rag. Rinse it. I'm going to start the chain process. The chain takes several steps because they're always dirty. Yes, okay. Get that little simple green on there. Get a rag Get a lot of simple green on there. And just start the process for the chain. It's going to take a few of these. Chains are always dirty. Down here, get this side. Go ahead and get to the pulley wheels. Those are always nasty in the rear derailleur pulley wheels. I'm getting both sides of the pulley wheels. They're so gross and nasty. Freshen it up with simple green. Dunk your dirty rag in there. I like to take and do the inside chain ring first, like this. Hope you can see that. Let's see. That's better. Maybe something like that. And then inside the, while I'm here, I'm scrubbing the inside of the crank arm. Then take your spacing of your rag, somehow get it in there, and get that inside chain ring. There we go. Or you can floss that piece and walk it forward. Nope, put my caps in the way. Looks like I've lost my chain a little bit here, but that's okay. Just let it come back on. A little bit of grease in there. Same thing again. Even better places right here. Let's do this one. There's a better place. There we go. Get on the inside of the teeth of the small chain ring. Freshen it up. Get inside the front derailleur. The back side of the front derailleur is always nasty. Top of the front derailleur again. Use gravity. Let it guide your rag downward. Don't try to fight gravity, let it help you. Inside of the cage of the front derailleur. Then, with a small ring, I do the little floss right at the crank arm first, because it's in the way, right? Now I can work that loose. Really work on the chain ring. Get that as clean as I can. The back side I can do this. I can hold my hand and move. And I can see on the rag whether it's coming off dirty or clean, so that's good. Front side's a little more difficult, right? But I can get to that, I can see it. Rinse it. That's starting to look pretty darn good. It's looking good, good, good so far. Now we get to the rear derailleur. Drop this down into here, right? Into this space. Scrub it, floss it. And get the back side of the derailleur cage, because this gets super nasty back there and you never see it. Top of the cage, or top of the parallelogram. That's called a parallelogram, slant parallelogram to be. Get your limit screws in there. Get the underside where the fixing screw is. The back side of the parallelogram. Okay, the pivot area. All that. Rinse it. I can't remember if I did the rear brake or not, but now I'm do the rear brake. I don't think I did. Floss it. All inside the seat stays like that. This is an excellent felt Z5. Several years old. That is such good shape. This bike has seen a lot of great riding. This bike is an Ironman bike. Remember, I will squeeze the caliper to get inside the caliper arm and make sure that you hear that snap. Do it again. We'll make sure the housing's back in its little stopper there. Floss the top of it. So this bike is going to make somebody an awesome road bike, or if they want, they can do a triathlon on it. This thing has seen an Ironman, and all the training that goes with it. This bike is excellent. A Z5, I think it's a 50. It's a 56 centimeter. This fits somebody, you know, 5'8" to 6 feet tall. A little bit tall for me. I'm about 5'7". I could ride it if I needed to, but it's a little tall. Wave to your neighbor and rinse it. This is starting to look so good. A little bit of liquid refreshment. Now back to my wheels. Let's take the wheels. The rims. Every spoke. Well, my cap's not getting in the way there, but the hub dust cap. Before I flip it over, I like to do the tire. Clean the tire. You never know what's in there. Wire, thorn, dirt, rock. Other side. Get your rim. Get every spoke. This also really helps to get this corrosion off of these aluminum spoke nipples, or any spoke nipples, brass or aluminum. They will corrode like crazy, and I've seen so many spoke nipples, aluminum, brass, they just crack. And somebody says, oh, okay, man, I broke a spoke. Well, no, spoke's perfectly fine. The nipple got corroded and cracked. So, you know, of course, I just take the tire apart and everything, and I replace the spoke nipple and tension in through the wheel, and it is good to go. But that helps a lot. Washing your spokes and spoke nipples. I'd say, oh, that's a great looking wheel. Now, the challenge, we're gonna get a fresh coat of Simple Green on the, let's see if this comes out all right. What we got? Oh yeah, it's perfect. Look at that view. Simple Green there. I have my handy stiff brush. I put a healthy coating of Dawn in there. Good tons of coating, and just start to scrub. This one's adequately dirty. You may see those guys in the Pro Tour and Pro Mechanics. They do like the full power wash thing and all that, and they had their little spongy brush and they'd wash it. But they're washing those things every day, so the bike really doesn't get that dirty. Most people don't wash their bike, so their dirt has to be scrubbed like this one, and their dirt for the average person has to really be cleaned out of there. Notice what I'm doing, kind of walking the cassette around each little ring, get that rag in between and behind as well. All right, give it a rinse. This one will probably need another dose because it is dirty. Yeah, that one I'm going to give it another dose because it's dirty. Get that, and another squirt of Dawn. I mentioned I love this work stand. I sell them, you can buy them, they are the best. You say, oh my gosh, I have to take a tire off or whatever. Yes, but look at it. Swivels around, whoop, whoop, goes up and down this way. It has adjustable here for different wheelbases. The best work stand. And I have the other foldable upright standard stand with a clamp. That's great, it's fine. I think it's called the PRS or something. But this one is the real pro deal. Now I go back to my dirty rag. This one holds the bike like you want it held, with the front wheel off, so you can get all around your frame buy this doohickey from Pedro's or whoever, the chain watcher holder thingy. Hold your chain, get that rear wheel off so that you can now get to that whole bike, frame and pieces and everything. Yeah, I know this is like therapy for some of us. It is for me. I know it is for you. See that? Then I'll go through and I'll wipe off the tops because sometimes it's just in there, just ground in that dirt, right? Let's do a rinse. Probably looking pretty good by now. That's looking pretty good. A lot better. I can tell where the chain is and where the gears are. Be careful of that. Look at that. Got some rag stuck in there. So don't want to have a rag piece thread stuck in there to where you it's going to foul up your rear derailleur. A little string like that back here will foul up your pulleys and such, right? There's that. There you go. Now this one's set. Now we're to the dry t-shirt time. Get your favorite nutritional beverage. Get whatever oil you like. This is just regular old, I don't know, Pro Lube, PTFE, something I like. It's great. Every bolt, every cable. Start at the top. Everywhere you have some type of metal touching other metal, spray it. I like to spray the pivots. I like to get inside, wipe it down. The pivots, get the inside, wipe it down. The shifting mechanisms. Oop. All of your moving parts of your brakes, your connection pieces, anything where there's a moving part or a cable, fixing bolt, check your brake, everything up here, every bolt. This will inhibit rust. This will keep all this stuff happy. I like the tape there. It's an excellent marking tape, but that's coming off because this is a bike that's going to be sold. So let's get that tape goo off of there, right? Let that sit for a second, get in there. I happened to pull these bottle cage bolts off earlier. So now that they're off, oops, that's a bunch of grease right there. I will I'll spray some oil in there to keep them corrosion free. Everywhere you have a pivot. You didn't see that. Let's do that again. Anything that moves, I'm shifting it out, shifting it in, and let that oil work in there. Your pedal, or your spring action, your tension bolt, the bottom side of your spring, any of the pivots, makes it so smooth when you put your pedal, engage your cleat back in these things after they've been oiled up. You're like, wow, that was so smooth and quiet. And why didn't I clean my pedals before? The cups and the brake fixing bolt over here are crank arm fixing bolts in Shimano. There are 2 of them, so I make sure I spray those. The cup, why are you spraying the cup? Because that oil will get down into the cup where the threads are and will allow you to keep a cup, a bottom bracket cup, that's going to be somewhat seize free when you got to replace that sucker. Same thing for your fixing bolt, the rear derailleur. All these guide bolts, pulley bolt. Notice what I'm doing. Every pivot, anywhere this thing's going to move, fixing bolt, pulleys, get all that. Then shift through it. Let the oil move into the derailleur while it's moving. Like this. Oh, Band-Aid. Take Alright, wipe off the excess inside. Now we'll see how clean we got this chain. Still looks pretty dirty. So I think I'm going to do another simple grain cleaning. I like to get it on the rag, put it up in here, really work the chain through there. Turn the pieces up there. Get the curvy parts over here by the derailleur because the chain's at a different angle. I'm just going back and forth however it seems to suit it best. By the way, this is Mardi Gras weekend. Happy Mardi Gras, everybody. Hope y'all are safe and have a good Mardi Gras. And don't worry too much about the water being on where the oil was. That oil will displace most of the water. A lot of the oil's not going to be disturbed by a little bit of water. So it's going to stay on there, it's fine. I put a bunch of oil on there. And we do this with the chain, give it a little bit of a dry. Then you choose whatever lube you like. Regular PTFE for me is good, because I'm going to wipe a lot of this off. If you want Teflon, if you want graphite, if you want wax, that's awesome. But for 90, so that's got me pretty dirty. This chain's pretty yucky, but I see that the chain is coming clean very well. And I have a adequate supply of t-shirts and old shirts that I'm going to use for all this bike shop stuff. Right here, I'm tilting my fingers so that I'm forcing the chain to move at a different angle right here. And get the chain at a little bit different angle of cleaning it. And notice I do both directions, forward and backwards. Get the angle, get the tops of the chain, the rollers is what they're called. Back to the pulleys, back to the chain rings. Be careful, it catches on the chain ring there, right? Chain ring's pretty darn clean. May not be a great angle. Inside here. I knew this one would be a bit dirtier than my own personal steed, but that's okay. It's cleaning up really well. It's gonna be an awesome tune-up for somebody. Maybe they'll do an Ironman on it. It's so cool. Another wipe down this way on the curvy parts by the derailleur. Go forward on it this way. And I'll take a fairly clean spot and see what I'm looking like. And that's not too bad. Just a tiny bit of dirt on a chain that was very dirty. And that's pretty good. I'll take that all day long. Another clean spot on my rag. Pretty good. Most of that's coming out pretty clean. So that's what I do. Do a little white glove test. And I could look at the chain. This already looks great. I'm gonna give it another couple of good wipes. Not bad at all. I know that whoever gets this is going to shift perfect. It is a big glob of grease on my hand there. I wonder where that came from. See if I can find it. Let's see. Where's that big glob of grease coming from? Alright, anyway. Then take your wheel. Take this awesome, cool chain stopper holder thing. Look at that. There it is. Pedros. You ever want to get it? Oh, you know what I see now that I do that? See a great place in the rear drop out here. Go ahead and clean it out. nice flat spot. Clean that out really good. Both dropouts. Look at that. Clean them up really well. I'm looking at the inside, and it's had a couple places where the chains dropped and scratched it, but structurally it's awesome. Drop out. And take your. Oh, here. Always make sure I do this. Get lube down into the cassette body. It's in there. Make sure it's very well lubed. Go ahead and do a quick flosser. These. Try to get a little bit more of that dirt off. This cassette's looking great. This for my bike, I'd ride it all day long. So let's get that in there. Chain's pretty clean. Cassette's pretty clean. You line it up with that outside cog. Bring that up. Put that in here. Line up your wheel. I'm looking down at the chain stays and the bottom bracket in the wheel. Make sure it's straight and it's even on both sides of the chain stays. Now look at the brakes. Say, okay, I am nice and even. Perfect. Brakes look good. Some liquid nutrition. I'll take this over here. Here. I'm going to put this over here on the concrete so I don't want grass all over the tires. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm just going to drop that down. Put the front wheel back on. And we have a bike again. Now I'm ready to tune this. I'm ready to put new bar tape on it and sell this sucker. If anybody wants a 56 centimeter felt Z5, Shimano 105, 10 speed, 2x10 drivetrain. Such a cool bike. Ride lots.